welcome to another episode of The Secret Sauce. Today we are sitting down with a fabulous loan professional from Fairway Mortgage, Stephen Tran.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to The Sauce.
Yes, I've watched many episodes. I'm really excited, and this is a beautiful room that you have here.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Our little studio put together with a
Well,
phone
the
and
view
some
is
lights.
phenomenal too. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's really a nice calming view when you're coming here for a closing.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's start out by finding out, how did you get into lending and how long have you been in the lending industry?
Yes. So getting into lending, I had a very bad experience buying a house back in 2020. And for me, I was like, this can't be the normal process that everyone goes through, right? Like, I didn't have any communication. I didn't even know I was doing discount points. I didn't know, like, no one told me about the closing process. I just showed up and just signed away.
No clarity on
No clarity at all. Yep. And so at the time, I was like, you know what? This can be better. This has to be better. And so then I decided to get my license. I was joined as a broker originally. So I tried brokering for about a year, and then what I realized with interest rates was climbing up the fastest ever climbed up before. I realized that, you know, we couldn't do down payment assistance. Buying a homes were a little bit harder back then too, and it still is for the people that don't have the resources that we can provide. So then I looked up Ollie and Oliver White, sorry, I was calling him Ollie, but Oliver White's saved, like 32 years old, #1 LO for the last multiple years. And I was like, this guy gets it. Like, he knows how to help people. So I joined up with him, and it's been beautiful ever since.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of helping people, I feel like just knowing you for the little time that I have, I feel like you're just one of those people. Compassionate,
Thank
you
you.
want to help.
Yes.
You know, you dig in, you find out what they need. So obviously that's some secret to your success, is that people part.
Yes.
So what do you feel that you bring to
Yes.
that client relationship that's maybe different from maybe someone else?
Yeah, I mean, just like you. I think, like you said, you nailed it on the head. I think there's a part that you have to care, right? I think the work that we do, I feel like when you get really good, just like in any other job, flipping burgers, you figure it out, you know how to do it. But what you bring to the table is, what's the experience like, and are you truly here to help? And I think for me, that's the big thing, is that when I meet someone on the other side of the room, or right across from me, or on that phone call, I want to get to know who you are, what are you trying to do, what is your life story, the why of what you want to do. That's the part that drives me to help.
What do you think would maybe be one of the biggest factors that has helped you find some success?
Yeah,
Like,
great.
what is it about you?
Yeah, great question. I would say one of the biggest factors would be doing the job is doing the job, I feel, no matter where you go. But I think it's the part where you have to seek wise counsel. And for our business, it's all based on referrals, right? So how do we maximize on the fact that we are creating great relationships, but I love helping people. But at the same point, there has to be a part where we have to provide for the teams, the people, the building, all these other things that we do. So it's seeking the wise counsel of how can I level up myself as a business owner, entrepreneur, and you just have to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that are looking out for your best interests as well. So being a part of the Oliver White team, for example, Oliver and Tom, they know exactly where I need to be or where I want to be. So there's a constant teamwork and auditing that happens. And that's the part where I felt like that really helped me get to that next level.
Well, when you have those leaders around you too, and that you put yourself in those places and spaces where those people kind of lift you up and also can support you. Like we were talking the other day about, you know, we don't know everything, but we want to put those people around us that are maybe smarter than us, that are better than us, that can do things that we can't do.
Absolutely.
Like I rely on Emily for so much technology stuff. I mean, I'm just like, but it's true. And then you feel supported, and then you can rise.
Exactly.
You know, and especially if those leaders acknowledge that professional and personal development is, they're even.
Yes.
Like good communicating, plus you know your job. You know, understanding people, plus you know how to do this.
100%.
Technically,
yes,
right?
You nailed it.
What are maybe some of your success habits that you have? Get you going during the day, or something maybe you go to once a year, or you know, what is some of those success habits that you have?
I would say structure and consistency has been the backbone of my business. So for myself and for your own relationships, I feel like right? For everything that we do, and I think we're a little different than most people. If you're watching this and you're not a part of the industry, we're always on call, and I think that's the part.
Yeah.
It's always challenging.
That is challenging.
But it's the part of having it structured in your day. So putting an actual invite or calendar, like before this, I did use calendar, but not as religiously as I do now, right? Just making sure that everything that I'm committing to is all structured there. And that's some of the things that, not to get off topic, but you and I do classes, for example.
Yeah.
Right? We like to teach, we like to educate. And I feel like one of the things that we always tell people getting into the business or just in the business in general is that you have to be more consistent.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're saying that you're going to show up for an event, or you're going to show up for a client, or you're going to do these things and get back to somebody at a certain time, you have to do those things, because in the long run, we all work with each other and we want to work with the best of the best.
Right. It is so important to show up and be, when you say you're going to commit to something, to be there for those people, because the impact you have by saying you're going to be there and then you don't show up,
yes,
is long lasting. It's like they'll remember that when they're saying, and they're sitting in front of a customer, you'll think to yourself, oh, do I want to refer this person to this person?
Mm-hmm.
Or because I know that they overcommit,
yes,
they say they're going to be there and then they don't show up. So those are the kind of things on a personal development level you really gotta be conscious of in yourself and self-assess and say, am I doing that?
Yes.
Am I showing up this way?
Yes.
Because eventually it is going to have an impact on your success, right?
100%.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What do you think is one of the hardest decisions maybe you've had to make in either career, life, maybe that puts you on a different trajectory, or?
Yeah, no, great question. Secret sauce, love this part of it. So we're gonna get really transparent, right? I think when it comes to this business right now, average, like the sales, inventory, everything's really low. So right now, compared to what it was about 3-4 years ago, for example, it was great. Business was great, interest rates were so low, everyone wants to sell their house. Life is so good that you could get a deal just going down the street, for example.
Right, they're falling in your
lap.
They're
just falling in your lap,
yeah.
right? But nowadays, you gotta work a little bit harder. And the truth is, you might not be making that same amount of money that you were making before, but at the same time, where are you at? Like, in this business, I'm only doing lending. So if I know the numbers are low and everything is difficult and it's a difficult time in the market, I'm still pursuing this, and I'm gonna keep diving in and I'm gonna keep reinvesting in my time. So what ends up happening is the difficult decision that I make every day, long story short, is that I am sacrificing a lot of my personal time to reinvest in my business when times are hard, because I need to still provide, right? I have a team, I have people, I have support, I have an opener, I have a processor. So every day, it's like almost a saying about how you make that one more call in sales, right?
Yeah.
Let me make one more call. Let me make one more call.
Right.
But ideally, it's the part where I know I have to reinvest more time in my business and not just be like, all right, I'm gonna be hands off, I'm gonna walk away while business is slow, and then hopefully business will come back. Because truthfully, I don't live in a world where I know what the future is gonna be. What if this is what business is gonna be like for a while?
Right.
I'm not gonna do anything different. I came into this business because I wanted to help people, and I'm passionate at helping people try to find homes, investment properties, whatever I can when it comes to a mortgage loan.
And I think too, we're living in a day and age too where people are wanting to know what's the value you bring. You're having to really express that in conversations that you're having.
Yes.
And value to someone can look like, I want a strong relationship with you.
Yeah.
Or value could look like, you can get me this, this product, what product can you get me, kind of thing, and be able to explain that to them, how it can benefit them.
Yes.
I mean, are you feeling that that's kind of you've got some smart people sitting in front of you who've really done their business, right?
Yeah.
They've really done their thinking on
Yeah.
what they want to do, and I think that's making all of us as well level up in what we're doing.
Yes, 100%. I mean, you nailed it. And I think if we're talking about like value and value add, for example, right? Like trademark, you go above and beyond. I think people that don't understand how the title process works, it's kind of like, all right, so we talk about the timeline of how you buy a house. It's usually you get pre-approved, you get into your home, you get inspection, appraisal, title work. And then I think a lot of people don't understand that title is a huge part of the process.
Oh yeah.
And I think what you guys do is just so phenomenal. You're on top of it, the communication's there. And I think that's the value add that people don't understand. where you can actually talk to your title company, right?
Yeah.
They're here to help you.
Yeah, well, and communication for us is so huge. It's like we always say, if something is not communicated with clarity or it's not impactful, things get missed.
100%.
And people are left to make conclusions on their own, and that's where the confusion starts.
Yes.
And if we can communicate proactively and concisely with our partners and be upfront with them and authentic and honest about this is what's happening, but
Yes.
these are the solutions that we're bringing as well.
Exactly.
We're always bringing solutions.
Yes.
But that communication piece,
Yes.
so big. So big for us.
Yes.
It's part of our culture. What is some good advice that you could give someone that's maybe just starting out on their steps toward a new role or a new career, or what is like one thing do you think you could?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just gonna relate it back to like what we do. So if it's like someone that's joining the real estate sphere, coming in here, and if you're watching this and you're not in the real estate sphere, take any little tidbits that you can from this.
Yeah.
But I think if you're starting in a career where, like for us, we're commission based. So we are out there and it's based on how much production that you're really doing. You have to be in a spot where, what are your goals, what's your why and why you're doing it, and then partnering up with people that are already doing it. I think a lot that we see in this industry is that social media and hearing things off of the street and all these things, it's not always accurate.
Right.
You know, you gotta find the people that you can relate to, that you can really trust, that they will help you in your business, and that they're gonna help you get to that next level or reach the goals that you wanna be at. So just seeking that wise counsel and getting structured right away. I think that's the other double-edged sword of what we do.
Yes.
Is that there isn't a time where you clock in, clock out, right? For us at least. So for us, the structure of what you gotta do in your day, it's not like when you go to work, you have a manager telling you what to do or what's your job role.
You're kind of doing your own thing, like you're
Yes.
making the rules for yourself, right? Yeah.
And then it's gonna be in a spot where you're gonna have to just make sure you're doing the right activities and then self-auditing yourself. It's just making sure that, you know, every quarter, I always self-audit what I've done in my business that I think really helps me kind of get to that next level too, is what are the things that I did, tracking everything that I did, what was the return for myself and my business, and for my clients and my other partners too, is what did we need to do to keep helping us provide for us and our families.
Right. And I think that, you know, when you said that why piece, when somebody's actually stepping into thinking of like changing a career or something, you know, moving into a different direction, I think that why piece is so important because for one, you have to know what is gonna fill you up and what you're really good at, like what's your wheelhouse. If you're good with people, I mean, go towards something that's that, because otherwise it's gonna be harder for you to, not saying that you can't do it, but you're gonna have to use more energy to get into that space if it's not something that comes natural to you.
Yes.
You know, like, you know, don't put me in front of an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I mean, don't do that to me. But if you put me in front of people, that's a whole different thing. But I love doing that. It's in my, I feel like that's in my wheelhouse. I like connecting with people. I like learning about people. You know, so.
And you're in the right industry to do that.
Yeah, right? I mean, training and development, sales, marketing, I mean, it's all about people and making impact in that realm. Yeah.
I would just say the other thing too, if you're thinking about switching your careers, not based in our industry, so listen to this part of it. I think you need to just follow your passion, right? I think at the end of the day, you gotta find the things that make you happy, because I'm going to the people that are enjoying their life, right? As a personal experience of everything I do, like I go to the Costco line for the cashier that's having the best time of their life and they're just having a good time, right? Because that's the person that I want to surround and share that energy with and that experience with.
Yes.
Right? And I think in this age, it's a little different, right? I was talking to somebody at the recent Pride Parade, or the Pride table over in Eden Prairie. And we were talking about their son. He was like 25 years old, switching jobs right now. He falls into an age group where everyone's following their passion, but what is the security like in their life? You know, are they in a spot where can they provide for themselves or the lifestyle that they want? And I think that's the other conversation of, if you're thinking about doing your passions, I highly recommend going back to what we said earlier, is finding the people that are absolutely crushing it in their field, because you love title, someone else may love title, connect together, and the limit, I mean, it's limitless. The potential is there
Oh, man,
for such
yeah.
crazy things to happen,
Right.
right?
That mentorship, or like I said, putting
Collaboration,
yourself
yeah.
in places and spaces where you're near those people.
Yes.
I mean, that to me is like my lifeblood. Like,
Yes.
I need to be around
Mhm.
people that inspire me creatively,
Mhm.
or even if we're talking about something totally serious and
Yeah.
totally funny,
Yeah.
those are the places and spaces I just find myself really living
Yes.
my life,
Mhm.
and my soul just celebrates.
Yes.
Like when I'm around
Yeah.
people like
Well
that.
said. Well said. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's so imperative, because then you find inspiration and you can go and do those hard things
Yes.
that you need to do for your
Yes.
role.
Yeah.
You know, that maybe aren't your jam, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah. Or you find people where you collaborate. So, for example, like social media, right?
Oh, you are
Like,
the master.
like, no,
You are the master.
It
You're
took
on
me a
it,
little to
man.
get there. Took me a little to get there, right? But when I find people that I want to continue growing business with, and we know social media is the thing that we need to adapt to, I will
Yes.
happily help you when it comes to your social media. You know, doing the videos, accountability, all that stuff. Because to me, I truly enjoy it too, right? So what makes it easier doing something you don't like, but someone else on the other side actually likes to do it, right? So it makes the time go by. You have a lot more fun.
Oh yeah. Now, do you do all of your own social media?
I do.
Oh,
I know.
I don't know how you do that, man. You are just so creative, and but what I really love about you is that community piece and the people piece.
Yeah.
You're always lifting other people up, and yes, you're taking pictures of your closings and all of that, but
Mhm.
it's always something in the post that's people oriented.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I love that about you, and how you share that, and you know, you're a light to be around, you're an energy to be around that's just so positive.
Thank you. I think the other part of social media that people kind of get nervous about when I have the conversation is some people think it could be flashy. Some people are like, well, what about these people that talk and say things about this?
Yeah.
And the reality is I'm doing this all truly, it's for those clients that are closing, for example. I want to celebrate their day, because some of them, they also aren't really good at social media, but they want their families, like the last closing I just had.
Yeah.
They are like, we didn't tell much of our family or friends that we closed on a house, and we didn't know because it was so hard to go through the list. And then
Wow.
they were so thankful that we put it on social media, because now their friends and families are jumping on and they're seeing these things, and
So good.
their second cousin that they haven't talked to in years, like, oh my goodness, we haven't talked forever, congratulations on buying a house, and helping them build that relationship there. Like, who doesn't
So
want to be
good.
celebrated on such a moment?
Right.
You asked me a great question, I want to ask it back to you. What is one of your success habits that you have?
Oh, my biggest success habit is every morning I go on social media. I don't go to look at the gossip or the news or any of that stuff. There's a few accounts that I go to every morning to get inspiration, just to set my mindset for the day.
I love that.
Yeah. So Adam Grant is one big one. Simon Sinek is another one.
Yeah.
Very emotional, intelligence-driven kind of posts that just get me set up for my day in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're dealing with people and have the honor of doing that every single day, I really feel like I need to be centered enough to be able to come to those conversations in a way that bring them value.
Totally. No wonder why you're so motivational.
Oh,
And like you have that persona as well of just like being that person that wants to help and also educate and just have that great positive impact.
well, thank you so much, Stephen, for joining us today. This was great to sit down and just talk about all of the things,
Oh, thank you.
real estate and personal stuff.
Yes, it's an honor to be here. Seriously, thank you for having me. I've been watching
Amazing.
for a while. So to be a
Wow.
part of this and just have honestly a great conversation with you, it was a good time.
Yes, a very good time.
Yes.
And that, my friends, is the secret sauce.